I do love me a good boss battle, but some bosses, they definitely should not be trifled with, and sometimes you should definitely just stick on the main narrative path and do not go searching in those bushes because they are covered in blood and the bushes are actually made of barbed wire and oh my god, I'm stuck in them, help me, oh my god, my clothes, my favourite shirt's ruined and my lungs are out. Oh, and I'm dead. Brilliant. With this in mind, I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are 10 optional boss battles who kicked your ass in seconds. Number 10, Morgan Freeman, South Park The Fractured But Whole. Morgan Freeman may be a totally optional boss battle in South Park The Fractured But Whole, but you'll need to take him on if you want to pick up the Farts Over Freckles achievement. And you know what? He presents by far the biggest challenge in the entire game. If your might isn't at least 750, there's no point even trying to conquer this Oscar-winning boss because he will make short work of you with little effort, using both his powerful $1 million bitch slap and fart sensei attack. He's also got 9,999 HP, and even if you manage to whittle away half of that health, he'll then gain the opportunity to attack twice per turn and start charming members of your party. Unless you're willing to drop the combat difficulty down to casual, this is absolutely hellish, as Freeman can easily take out your entire party in just a few moves. Not fun at all. Number 9, OZMA, Final Fantasy IX. The debate over who is truly the toughest Final Fantasy superboss will definitely rage until the end of time, but a strong candidate for this is Final Fantasy IX's OZMA, the giant spherical high school art project that somehow tripped and fell into a Final Fantasy game. In addition to being by far the biggest challenge that Final Fantasy IX has to offer, OZMA is easily one of the most potent enemies in the entire Final Fantasy franchise, not to ignore the fact that you need to spend hours and hours slogging your way through the Chocobo hot and cold minigame to unlock this bloody thing in the first place. At level 99 and touting a stonking 55,535 HP, OZMA should not even be attempted by most players because the outcome is generally a foregone conclusion. It can annihilate your party with its myriad of powerful attacks, including Curse, Doomsday, Holy, Level 5 Death, and, of course, Meteor. Oh, and to rub salt in the wounds, it will regularly heal itself back to full in seconds. Ultimately, the easiest way to defeat OZMA is by tempting it to use its lesser yet still incredibly harmful attacks, so in effect making sure it doesn't take full advantage of its powerful potential each turn. Even so, only the most committed Final Fantasy IX diehards should even bother with this one. Number 8, Inner Agent 3, Splatoon 2 OCTO Expansion. When you think of crushing, bum-rushing difficulty, Splatoon 2 probably isn't the first game that comes to mind, but its OCTO expansion add-on nevertheless boasts a totally demoralizing hidden boss in Inner Agent 3. You can unlock this boss battle by first acquiring all 80 mem cakes, which are given out for completing stages, which leads to a punishingly difficult 5-phase cage match against Agent 3. Agent 3 is faster, more aggressive, and touts more health than in the prior encounters, and there's an infuriating scarcity of objects to hide behind, and, by the way, there are no checkpoints whatsoever between the phases. To have even a faint chance of winning, you need to be constantly on the move, keep an eye on your ink levels, and also ensure that your shield does not get damaged. Oh, and also, Agent 3 chucks out auto bombs which can easily sneak up on you and immediately end the fight if you're not paying attention. If you assume that this cutesy arcade shooter couldn't possibly leave you in tears, well, you were wrong. Dead wrong. Number 7, EMIL, NIER Automata Potato Patata. Few video game developers can deliver a singularly bizarre and outstanding difficult boss fight like the great Yoko Taro, and he proved this beyond all doubt in NIER Automata Potato Patata. To even unlock the true final boss fight with EMIL in the desert, you'll first need to complete a prior secret encounter against him and have also maxed out all of your weapons. What follows is a ferociously intense boss fight as you're forced to hack away at a series of gigantic EMIL heads, all the while avoiding his staggeringly powerful laser eye attacks and bombing runs. Oh, and also, he's level 99 for this fight as well. If the rigmarole required to unlock the fight isn't off-putting enough, EMIL's sheer overwhelming power will definitely do it for most players. Number 6, YOZORA, Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind DLC. Until recently, the general fan consensus was that the hardest optional boss in the Kingdom Hearts franchise was Sephiroth and Lingering Will from the first and second games respectively. Then, in Kingdom Hearts 3 Reminds DLC, we had this perspective changed with the introduction of YOZORA. In the DLC's secret episode, Sora does battle with the mysterious YOZORA, who is able to move across the battlefield with incredible speed, deal out deathly powerful attacks, and also counter many of Sora's own. Despite the battle's multitude of phases and sheer number of things that YOZORA can do to Sora, such as stealing his Keyblade and using it himself, it's surprising that the fight actually plays relatively fair despite its high degree of challenge. But this doesn't mean that you won't be about ready to flex your controller in half after spending a few hours trying to put him down though, especially as he'll often execute one of his most powerful attacks in his opening move, literally ending the fight before it's even gotten started. Good luck. Number 5. Mr. Shakedown, Yakuza 0. So Yakuza 0 features 4 elite bosses known collectively as Mr. Shakedown, a quartet of improbably gigantic men who all have the same fighting style and the same end goal, that being kick your ass and take your money. Mr. Shakedown wanders around the map and can at least be easily fled from, but those who stand their ground will basically be throwing down with a literal mountain of a man. What Mr. Shakedown lacks in speed, he easily compensates for with sheer demoralizing power, able to make short work of either protagonist in just a few easy hits, taking your cash as an added insult to injury. Unless you've honed your combat chops and come to the fight with both an inventory full of healing items and a fair few weapons, this is basically a fruitless endeavor, given that it's easy to get one hit killed by certain attacks. Worse still, the more times that you beat Mr. Shakedown, the more health he amasses. Oh dear. Number 4. CHARON, Hades. So players can initiate a secret boss fight against Hades' shopkeeper CHARON by agreeing to borrow 300 obols from him, whereby you'll be transported into another room where the fight begins. Like Mr. Shakedown, CHARON makes up for his lack of speed with huge amounts of health and absurdly powerful attacks, his ore swipe causing massive damage, while his various wave attacks can also stun and disorientate players. As CHARON's health is depleted, he'll also destroy some of the golden pillars scattered around the room that you could previously use for cover. The only real mercy then is that the battle ends when CHARON's health drops to around 20%, but even so, getting there is sure no picnic. In the event that you do manage to fell CHARON, he'll give you a loyalty card granting you 20% off of his wares, and also let you keep the aforementioned 300 obols. Nice guy, but also ow. Number 3. RODIN, Bayonetta. If players are committed enough to collect 10 million halos on a single Bayonetta save file, then they'll be given the opportunity to buy the Platinum ticket at RODIN's bar, the Gates of Hell, for 999,999 halos. At this point, you'll be transported to a celestial arena for a secret boss fight against RODIN's true angelic form, who is by far the most difficult boss in the entire game. The fight is automatically set to the highest gameplay difficulty, where he's immune to being stunned, can shave off giant chunks of your health in a few quick hits, and has a diverse platter of attacks to absolutely blindside you with. You need to keep moving, but then again, it's easy to make a simple mistake which tips the balance in his favor immensely. If you do manage to win the fight, you'll be gifted with the enormously powerful, eponymously named RODIN weapon. You also get to fight RODIN again in similar circumstances in Bayonetta 2, though perhaps as a result of fan outcry, it's not quite as punishing. The original one though, yeah. Ow. Number 2. Nameless King, Dark Souls 3. Like Final Fantasy, there's much ongoing debate around the toughest optional boss in the Dark Souls franchise, though a firm contender is surely the third game's Nameless King, as if to demoralize players from the outset, the boss rides into the battle arena on a gigantic dragon called King of the Storm, and you know what? It's only going to get worse from there. Before you even battle the Nameless King himself, you need to defeat King of the Storm, after which a one-on-one fight transpires where the Nameless King's lightning attacks can very nearly one-shot unsuspecting players. Surprise, surprise, he also gets a full new health bar to be whittled down, and given the enormously precise timing required to dodge his attacks, it's little surprise that this battle enraged the vast majority of the fanbase. But the feeling of finally defeating him, if you can, is nothing short of euphoric. But what of your sanity did you sacrifice in the process? Quite a lot of it. And number 1, CRAWMERAX the Invincible, Borderlands the Secret Armory of General Nox DLC. CRAWMERAX the Invincible is certainly a namesake earned by this devilishly infuriatingly difficult raid boss from the original Borderlands' Secret Army of General Nox DLC pack. As part of the aptly named mission, You Will Die, players will need to battle the armored crab worm-like thing known as CRAWMERAX, such that a well-stocked and otherwise able 4-player party will have their hands full. If you're thinking of attempting this solo, well, unless you're going to cheese this boss, just don't. Between the absurd range and debilitating power of its attacks, particularly its monstrous dive, and general lack of weaknesses, CRAWMERAX can make short work of unsuspecting and unprepared players in record time. It often drops some of the rarest loot in the entire game, but for many it simply won't be worth the time investment necessary to put this big guy down. And there we go, my friends, those were 10 optional bosses who kicked your ass in seconds. I hope that you enjoyed that, and please let me know what you thought about it down in the comments section below. As always, I've been Jules. You can go follow me over on Twitter at RetroJ, or you can swing by Live and Let's Dice as my personal gaming channel, where I stream every single Wednesday and Sunday. It'd be great to see you over there, my friend. But before I go, I just want to say one thing. Even though we detailed today about bosses who kicked your ass, do not, my friend, kick your own ass mentally, because you deserve better than that. You deserve love, happiness, and success, my friend. We all do as human beings, and do not let anything or anyone else tell you otherwise, alright? Be kind to yourself, take a break when you need to, and remember, you can always ask for help, because you're not alone. As always, I've been Jules, you have been awesome. Never forget that, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.